3.080 Waiver of fees and or penalties. Chapter 3, the collection of payment of fees and penalties. 3.080 Waiver of fees and or penalties. The conditions under which DMV is authorized to waive unpaid registration fees and or penalties due are very specific. Transfer applications. Penalties may be waived upon payment of the registration fees due to when a transferee, including a dealer, applies for transfer and was not determined that the registration penalties occurred prior to the transferee's date of purchase and the transferee was not aware that the registration fees for the current or prior registration years were unpaid and due. Fees and penalties may be waived for any registration year when a transferee, including a dealer, applies for transfer and it is determined that the registration fees became due prior to the transferee's date and purchase and the transferee was not aware that the fees were unpaid and due. If the license plate assigned to the vehicle displays a valid year sticker issued by the DMV, matches the year for which the transferee is requesting a waiver of fees and penalties. The license plate assigned to the vehicle must display a valid year sticker issued by the DMV that matches the year for which the transferee is requesting a waiver of fees and penalties. A statement of facts, REG 256 PDF, form stating that the transferee was not aware that fees were unpaid and due, indicating the sticker number on the license plate must be submitted with the application. Other applications. Penalties may be waived on an application for registration upon payment of the fees. When the manager or his or her designee determines that circumstances caused by the penalties to occur through no fault or intent of the owner. I'm starting to forget how to read words again. Fees and penalties may be waived only when the customer, including a dealer, has a current validation sticker on the license plate, which matches the year where fees are believed to have been paid and the registration fees became due prior to the customer's purchase/transfer date. The transfer fee and any other fees must be paid. If a current validation sticker is not displayed on the license plate, all registration fees due must be paid, and only the penalties may be waived. A statement of facts, REG 256 PDF form stating the sticker number on the license plate and that the applicant/dealer was not aware of any unpaid fees must be submitted with the application. Waiver of penalties on vehicles sold at wholesale auction. DMV shall waive any penalties for late payment of registration renewal on fees on a vehicle if all the following criteria are met. The vehicle is sold through a dealer conducting a wholesale motor vehicle auction as provided in CVC 4456. Immediately prior to the sale, the vehicle was registered as a leased vehicle. Delivery of the vehicle to the dealer conducting the wholesale motor vehicle auction is not later than 25 days after the termination of the lease. The date of termination of the lease and the date of delivery to the auction is reported on the application for registration and transfer. This may be done on an REG 256 submitted with the application. Stolen or embezzled vehicles. Fees or penalties do not occur as a result of operation of a stolen, embezzled vehicle. DMV may waive the renewal fees and penalties as follows. When the stolen or embezzled vehicle is subsequently recovered by the owner and the vehicle is not operated between the date the registration expired and the theft embezzlement date. The current renewal fees become due upon return of the stolen or embezzled vehicle to the owner's possession, and those fees or a P&O must be filled within 20 days of that date. Fuck this. A miscellaneous certifications REG 256A PDF must be submitted with the application. When an application for title only of an unrecovered, stolen, or embezzled new unregistered vehicle is presented. When an application for a transfer only of a recovered, stolen, or embezzled vehicle is presented. Deployed military. Penalties only shall be waived for late renewal for any period during which the registered owner was deployed to a location outside of California. Deployment does not include temporary duty for the sole purpose of training or processing, a permanent change of duty station. To qualify for deployed military renewal penalty waivers, the applicant must submit an application for registration renewal with the appropriate fees within 60 days after termination of deployment. Proof of temporary military duty during a period when a presidential executive order specifies the United States is engaged with combat or homeland defense and be a member of the Armed Forces Reserve, or the National Guard, who has been called to active duty or other service. A statement of fact, REG 256 PDF form saying that he or she is a member of the Armed Forces Reserve, or the National Guard, and the termination of his or her deployment. Deployment does not include a temporary duty for the sole purpose of training or processing or permanent change of station. Note, only penalties incurred during deployment may be waived. That's it.